Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's been a great trading week with some pretty good market moves as well. So I hope you have been profitable. All right, so before we get started, let's check how you can benefit even better on those videos. You can see from about 2 or 3 weeks back, we have I've put back the timestamps. So if you are watching these videos and you're only interested in specific pair, please note down on the description of all the videos, you will find the timestamps. How this works is that if you are looking for a specific pair and you're not looking to watch the whole video, you just go onto you click on the show more tab. You'll see under the description of the video, if you go to show more, you will find that all the pairs that we're going to discuss here this morning are listed there, and you can just click to any and go straight to any of the ones that you are interested in. You will also see my contact details there. That is my email address, my mobile number that you can use for Telegram or WhatsApp as well. That is all listed there. We also have a Telegram channel. The Telegram channel is not necessarily for analysis. I use it just to post the links, the live links for the webinars. And you can also find me on TradingView using that link. If you search Victor Manena on TradingView, you won't find me because my username is V Manena on TradingView. All right, so we have our course currently running. We started last week. It will be ending on the 28th of June. It's been a great course. It's going well. So the next one is going to be in August. I just need to confirm the time, the first week of August. So the next course is going to be in the first week of August. I just want to confirm the starting date. That will be from the 8th of August up until the 19th of August. So it's a 2 weeks course. So if you're interested in joining us in August, you can send me a message through any of the contact details listed below. So as far as the course is concerned, the course content, the timing, and everything related to the course, if you send me an email, you'll get all the details there. So the course is in August, but it is also pre-recorded. So that means the moment you join us, the day that you join us, you get a recording of the whole course. So you can watch the course even before the actual live course, and then we add you into our Slack group as well. We'll talk about a bit about our Slack group in maybe next week as well, how we work in the Slack group. But let's get started with the analysis for this week. All right, so we're going to start as usual with the cryptocurrencies. Let's start with Bitcoin. Actually, the cryptocurrencies and the indices this week, or for the last couple of weeks, the analysis has just been simple. You're just looking for continuation patterns to the upside. They are both just bullish. Let's get this one on the weekly. That is Bitcoin on the weekly. As you can see, it's a very simple structure. I've always said that Elliott Wave is very simple structure. If you understand the principle that you're always going to get a move and a correction, and then after the correction you get another move. So this is how the Elliott Wave theory works. So you're always going to get a pulsing move, and you're always going to get a correction, right? Now you get a correction. After correction, you get a move. Just want to switch this off here. There's somebody with the video on. So after the correction, you get a move up. I've shown this a couple of times. Now, if you get a move like that, if you get a pulsing move like that, and then you don't get a correction at the end, if you get a pulsing move in the opposite direction, that means this swing has ended. Then you're going to expect now a correction after this move. Okay, now what should come after a correction? You should get another move, or a pulsing move like that. So you can see that this move will be over if you get another pulsing move in the opposite direction. But then you've got this move now, you're going to get another corrective structure. And so the sequence keeps going like that. And then now you've got a correction, and then you've got another pulsing move like that. And what you have just done here is, in the higher degree, you've just simply made a three-wave move. That is a three-wave move up, three-wave pullback. Let's do it cleanly. Three-wave pullback, and a three-wave move to the upside. It's a three-wave move built with fractally from the lower degrees to the higher degrees. And if you understand this principle, you are well on your way to understanding the theory. because this is how the principle works. Obviously, it's not that simple, but that is the basic principle of understanding wave analysis and wave theory. All right, so now what have we got here? We've got here a move. We're looking at Bitcoin now. What do you have after a move? You get a correction. What does that correction look like? It looks something like this. It's a three-wave move. What are you expecting? You're expecting a move to the upside. That is how simple Bitcoin was. So you're looking on the weekly here. I hardly ever show the weekly analysis on during these videos. I just show you what the next move is, the next immediate move, because people are mostly interested on what to trade in the following week. That's why we're only looking at the maybe the daily sometime, most of the time, and the 4 and the 1 hour time frame. So what do you have here? You've got a simple ABC structure. Simple ABC structure. It doesn't go in a straight line, but it's going pretty fast at the moment, and there's no sign of a reversal. So what you're going to be doing on Bitcoin is simply looking for continuation patterns to the upside. Okay, so now that is the structure. That is simple. What do you do now? Because you're looking for upside. All you do here in this, you don't try to sell the Bitcoin or any of the cryptocurrencies. All you do is try to get entry points by looking at continuation patterns. Let's go to the 4 hour and see if we're getting any continuation patterns. On the 4 hour Bitcoin, so those that have been watching the videos for a while will remember that this is where I'll show you where we took the trade. We took Bitcoin here. There's a reason why we only took it here and didn't get this move. I mean, we didn't get this move, but we've got the rest of the move to the upside. We didn't get this move because according to our strategy analysis, or according to the wave theory, I expected this move. When I read the chart, I expected one move down first before we go to the upside. So we knew that the move was coming, but we just thought that it was going to give us one more down before it goes to the upside. So when we saw that it was already reversed, we could see that there was a continuation pattern there, running flat, gave you an entry point, entered, and we've been in since. Right? Last week I showed you some fractals. You've got this structure here, show it in yellow. You've got a running flat here, 1, 2, 3. Started with this one here. Let's show this one in red. We started this one, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now every time you get this continuation patterns, this one I showed last week as well. Every time you get these continuation patterns, that is telling you that you're going to continue with the trend. You're continuing with the trend. It's a running flat, textbook running flat. It continues like that. Let's see here. I'm trying to get here. So you would have entered again around this area. Okay, so this was your entry point. So this is a continuation pattern. So these flex, these small flex, these are your opportunities to enter. So there's another one here. I'm going to go into the 1 hour time frame to look at this one because that's another entry point. It's a very clear running flat, exactly the same as this 1, 2, and this one is exactly the same as well. It's another running flat. So let's mark it as well. So you can see that it's exactly the same, and you'll see that it's more than just 2 patterns. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3. We're going to go to the lower time frame so you can see it clearly. And then every time you get those continuation patterns, it's telling you that it's going to continue to the upside. Okay? All right. Right, so that's all you do on the cryptocurrencies. Let's go to the 1 hour and look at this one specifically. Just look at this one, 1, 2, 3, and then make note. We're going to look at this one, and then you'll see that it's exactly the same as the rest. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. And there's the running flat there. That is your running flat. So continuation patterns to the upside. That's all you do on Bitcoin. You can see that this one was exactly the same as the one that we've got when we got our entry. All right. So you'll see also here that you just keep getting this textbook continuation patterns. 1, 2, 3. It's an entry point. All of these continuation patterns. Now you've got this one here again. It is a 3-wave move as well. 1, 2, 3. That is a continuation pattern. Now you've got another pulsing move. This is telling you Bitcoin is still going to continue to the upside. Whether it does this, come back down and make another one, doesn't really matter. You need to just move your stop to break even when the price gets to this level, but you need to buy it when you get here, when it gets to this level again, because it's just going to continue. Okay, it's just going to continue. Yes, the video will be available on YouTube after this. All right, so that's just continuation patterns on Bitcoin. So look for an entry here, because from here you may not get this one down. This one down here is only telling you that you're going to get a regular flat. So that's all you're looking for, upside. Now, if you look at Litecoin, it's even more straightforward than Bitcoin. If you go on to the weekly, let's go weekly, you'll see that it's a simple, remember the principle that I've shown you, pulse, correction. Let's show this correction. And the correction is in 3 waves. Show with the same color. Correction, 1, 2, 3. And now what are you looking for? You're looking for this. You're looking for this. You've got your pulse, A. The correction, we've been in this correction for the whole year. This pulsing move ended in 2018, and for the whole year, we've been talking about how this correction is going to end and we're going to get this move to the upside. The move has started, and all you're looking for now is this continuation patterns. This is a daily, so obviously you don't see the entry levels clearly. So let's go to the 4-hour. So straightforward. Let's get the log scale here. Let's get everything off here. So same as Bitcoin, you'll see that this has been giving entry points here. Entry points, 3-wave move, pulsing move up. 1, 2, 3, pulsing move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, pulsing move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, it's continuation patterns. If you are able to identify this, 1, 2, 3, pulsing move to the upside. If you are able to identify this, then you are able to get the entries, and you need to be able to identify when it has completed. Okay, so here you've got a pulsing move. This could do this, could do this, and go up again. Now you just need to check if this one breaks below here. Does not mean it's reversing. If it breaks below here, it may just come here, retest here, and then push to the upside. And that would be a continuation pattern to the upside. You're only looking for continuation patterns to the upside. That is Litecoin, and then Ethereum has got the same structure as Bitcoin. As you can see, this is the one that we showed last week. So if I just show you quickly, the structure for Ethereum is similar to that of Bitcoin, as you can see. It's a simple pulsing move, a correction, and now we are on the pulse again. It's a pulsing move. We've got that correction in 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, and we are in this one here now. Okay, so all you're looking for is continuation patterns to the upside. Let's go to the 4-hour. We're going to 4-hour. The structure that is similar to that of Bitcoin that I showed last week, that you keep getting this running flats here. Breaks the top, does not break the low. That is your running flat, and after that it pushes up with the pulse. Your entry would have only been here. You could have entered also here, this one here. You could have also entered this one here. It's just continuation patterns to the upside. You could have also entered here. So that is continuation patterns that you're looking for on all the cryptocurrencies, right? That is Ethereum and Ripple. Let's look at Ripple lastly. Ripple, the same structure that you see there, but I'll show you the higher degree structure as well. They all made this simple structure, and I said that if this one breaks out of here, you're looking for entries. That's your entry, that's your flag there. Okay, that's actually not a 3-wave structure. So this one did not quite give you an entry point except for this level here. When it made this corrective structure, that's where you would have continued with the move. Okay, so Ripple, we're looking for it to go right to the upside. And if you've been watching these videos for a while, you'll know that the structure that we're looking at on Ripple on the daily, let's switch this off. Same as the other cryptocurrencies, you had a pulsing move here, but we are looking at this structure like this. It's a 3-wave move, yes. It's a 3-wave move, let's mark it. I'm sure most of you are tired of seeing this. 1, 2, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Now, this structure here, I'm going to mark it in green. It's 1 pulsing move. And all of this one here is a correction for that green move. And I have been looking for this move for a while now, since this has been in correction. Now that looks like it's going to happen. We are currently in this move, and the next target in this is here. Why are we looking for that target? That's because this is the structure that we're looking for. And initially, when we looked for this structure, we were saying the rationale behind the analysis was that this was going to make 1, 2, 3 back before we go. But I do not think that we're going to get this 1, 2, 3 back anymore. I think we're going to update this structure, because I think from here it's just going to take off like the rest of the cryptocurrencies. If it does play out like this, it's even better, because you get another entry right at the bottom. Okay. Any case, what you're looking for is continuation patterns from here to the upside. Minimum, test that level. Okay, let's see what happens when you get to that level. Right, so I've already shown you the 4-hour on this one. Now let's get to the indices. We're going to look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, and all the indices have played out exactly as per the analysis. I saw a comment in, I think in one of the videos, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, somebody was saying, why am I projecting the indices to go up the same time as gold? So I always answer that question is nothing is always blank like that, especially when it comes to correlation. Just because two pairs are correlated doesn't mean they're always going to be correlated. There's something that is called the correlation coefficient, or the correlation strength, that you need to calculate, and that keeps changing depending on how the market is moving. And we always do that when we do our analysis. We calculate the correlation strength, whether it is for the last week or for the last month or for the 2 months, depending on the structure that you're analyzing. So it's not just that if Euro US dollar and US dollar CHF are inversely correlated, it's always going to be like that. You need to understand what the correlation coefficient is for a certain period. So that is why I have been focusing that the indices are going to push higher, and you can see that gold also pushed higher as expected. All right, so now let's look at the indices. The indices analysis is actually very simple. For the last couple of weeks, we've just been saying the same thing. So from towards the end of last year, you saw this move coming down here. You said this is simply an expanding flat, and this is a wave 4 in the higher degree, and we're expecting that when this is complete, it's going to push higher. Okay, so this was the structure that I expected. I expected this to break the low here, which it did, and then came back up. Now also, when this was coming down here, we did say that when it gets here, you're going to get a deeper pullback. You got the pullback in 3 waves. Okay, so after the 3 waves, what do you expect? You expect a push higher. Everything as per analysis has been playing out, even this one here. All right, so now what are we expecting here with the indices? Are we expecting reversal? It's possible, but what I'm looking for here is continuation and current levels. You get a correction at current levels and push higher. Last week we touched all-time highs as expected. We touched all-time highs, which we focused on when this was coming down here. I said this was going to go and make all-time highs, because we're looking for wave 4, and this one we're looking for it to go and complete a wave 5. Okay, we're going to project the end of wave 5, but for now we are looking for continuation patterns to the upside. Let's look at that. It has started correcting. Let's have a look. That is not a down move, that is a corrective structure starting there, and I believe that that's going to keep pushing higher. And you'll see that all the indices are like that. Let's look at the Dow. Dow, similar, we have reached the all-time highs, broke the all-time highs, as you can see there, touched the all-time highs, and we're busy correcting at that level. So this going sideways here is telling you that we're gonna keep pushing high. Right, that is the Dow, the NASDAQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ, similar. Let's look at this, yeah, NASDAQ has not really broken the all-time highs, but it's making continuation patterns. So the indices and the cryptos, I've been saying the same thing. Look for continuation patterns to the upside. That's all you do. You don't try to sell those. Right, so that is the Dow, the UK 100. UK 100, we're getting a pullback as well there. We're getting a pullback. So the UK 100 may be one with a slightly different structure, because we made a pulsing move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure there. That is your 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 over there. Now we're looking at this to be a corrective structure, maybe an A expanding flat and then a C. So this could be the only one that has any even deeper correction. So let's see what happens when the market opens. Are we going to get a continuation pattern here for downside? That's going to tell us that this is going to make this move here. That's going to make this corrective structure before we push higher. Okay, that is the UK 100. So let's see what happens. We've got a pulsing move here. Look for a corrective structure and a bit of a continuation, unless it's going to make something like this and push higher. Okay, so anticipate both possibilities. We'll update this as it plays out. That is the UK 100 and the DAX. So if you watch the analysis on the indices in the last couple of weeks, you'll see that I've said the same thing on all the indices when they were making these 3-wave pullbacks. I've even projected the blue boxes on all of them the week before. So there's supposed to be a blue box here. If I just go one back to the S&P 500, you'll see the blue box that we projected. That's the one here. Projected before price came here. You can see that not a peep lower than the blue box, and then it reversed. Okay, so now let's look at the, okay, we're done with the DAX. Now we'll look at the NIKKEI. Are we done with the DAX? The DAX is just pulling back. All-time highs as well. All-time highs is pulling back correctively. I believe that it's gonna push higher. Let's see how that goes. If it's not gonna push higher, we're gonna make this structure. Let's have a look here. There's a possibility this is an alternative now. If it does not push higher from there, we could have something like this, 1, 2, 3, and then you get this retesting the bottom here and then push higher, making this a regular flash. So there is that possibility that you cannot disqualify. So let's see how that plays out. We'll see that if this breaks below this here, then we'll know that it's going to retest the bottom here, not reverse or the market or the index is crashing. It's just making the structure. We're still looking for continuation patterns to the upside. That is the DAX and the NIKKEI. NIKKEI similar. So NIKKEI, we've made a 3-wave move. We forecasted this 3-wave pullback. You see this pullback here? We forecasted it together with the other indices. Let me see if I projected the blue box on this one. Okay, we didn't put in the blue box on this one, but that would have been the reversal. Actually, it will not have reached the blue box, it will have reversed before it got there. Now, let's see what happens with this structure. Is it going to make this one here, this one here? Let's see what we're going to get from here. Then maybe we're going to get something like this and a push higher. This is a long-term focus for now. We know that the next immediate move, we've got a pulsing move. All we're looking for now is for this to do this. That can make a 3-wave move like that and push higher with the rest of the indices. So don't think that this may go right down just like that. So let's watch it, let it complete the structure, and then you'll know which one is building. That is the NIKKEI, the NIFTY. NIFTY, 3-wave pullback. We're getting a 3-wave pullback here and a pulse. So the pulse is telling you that if we get a correction here, you're going to get a bit of a push to the upside, at least minimum to that level. All right, that is the NIFTY and one of those Indian stocks, Pharmaceutical. That's for one of the Indian traders. You've got a pulsing move. We had a pulsing move here. All of this was correcting, and now you've got a new pulsing move here. If you get a corrective structure here, you may be going to retest that level. Possibility to come back down here, make this one, make a bigger corrective structure like that, and continue with a move to the downside. That's just long-term forecast. Let's see how this goes. Immediate move is this one here, correcting, retesting the top there. All right, that is the indices. Now let's look at the US dollar pairs. And the US dollar pairs are looking quite interesting now. Let's look at Euro US dollar. I'm going to do the correlation between Euro US dollar and the dollar index. I'm going to bring both charts on the one screen, and then we look what is going on here. If you remember, on the Euro US dollar and the dollar index, we have been looking at an ending diagonal in wave 5. Let's see how that is playing out. I've since adjusted the analysis on Euro US dollar and the DXY, but what did not change here is the direction of the price. So the structure is not the one that we were looking for. It is not an ending diagonal. Let's look at both of them on the daily. Does not look like an ending diagonal because that has now been violated. let's look at what the structure is possibly there. We've got euro, the dollar index at the top, at the bottom. I want to put in the euro US dollar at the top. Okay. You can see it's exactly the same structure, but on the in inverse. Okay. Initially, what did we look at? We looked at this to be a diagonal in wave 5. Just want to get my annotation out again. I was looking at this to be a diagonal in wave 5. Wave 5 was supposed to be this one here, having started there. This was supposed to be wave 5 in red here to be completed. It looks like wave 5 would have completed here already, and now this is how we're looking at this structure. Based on the way it is playing out now, we expected that after this ending diagonal, we're going to get this move to the upside, or it can do this, or it can do this, not like that, or it can do this, break the bottom, break the top. Either way, we're looking for a correction at the end of this. Now, it looks like what we have here is that wave 5 would have already completed here. You've got a 3-wave move up here. You've got a 3-wave move down here, and we're getting another 3-wave move to the upside. So it looks like that wave 5 had already completed, and that ABC that we were looking for had already happened there. So let's just remove this for now. And that correction that we were looking for has already happened. So now we've got this one coming up. This is the daily, so we still get quite a bit of a move to come and retest the top here. Then after which, then we will expect continuation again to the downside. So what do we have here? You've got to have this one coming down here. Correction, biggest correction that you've got up until this point, and then continuation to the downside. Now the same thing that we're expecting here on the dollar index, you've got to move all the way up there, and you've got that corrective structure there, 3-wave move there, 3-wave move there. This one has broken the top, so it can be a running flat or an expanding flat, can break the low here. So this one also can be an expanding flat and break the top before continuation to the downside. Okay, so that is what you're going to be looking at on euro and the dollar index. So if you look at the dollar index, it should continue in this fashion to the upside. Now let's switch off all the numbers. You can see that there's quite simply visible correlation between the two pairs. Okay. Now also, if you look at the structure here, this is what the structure looks like. Let's draw it. 1, 2. Internally, you've got, I'm going to use the red color. Maybe use the green because I already have the red there. 1, 2, 3. You've got a triangle there. That is a wave 4 in green, and then a 5 internally there. So this is just to show why we're looking at this as a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4 here, a 5 there, and we're busy with this correction. The same thing that we have here, that's a 1. Let's just go with the yellow. It's 1. Let's go 1, 2, like that, and then you get a green internal degree. 1, 2, 3. You also had a triangle there. If you remember, this is a running triangle. I think I've shown you what a running triangle looks like before. Let me just show you again. It's A, B, C, D, E. So that you've got a running triangle there in wave 4, and then a wave 5 in green there. After the wave 5, you get a 4 and a 5. And that so you get a wave 4 here, a 5. So your wave 5 is going to be here. Okay, get a wave 5 there. So you've got simply here 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, let's just switch off there. Now from there, you get a correction in 3 waves. That's your 5 there. 1, 2, your 3 should be visible. I'm just trying to be more detailed there. W, X, Y correction, because that's 3 waves up, 3 waves back, and we're expecting this one to make another Y. Same here, W, X, and a Y. Doesn't get more detailed than this. So you've got a simple pulsing move, correction, and then you're going to expect another pulsing move when this move to the upside is completed. Now, what you're going to be watching for is that this move here, when it's complete, that's going to look like a flag, and you're going to look to buy it. The same here, when this move is complete to the downside, it's going to look like a flag, and you're going to look to buy it. You're going to look to sell there. Now, this is very clear. Okay, so that is the structure on the euro and the DXY. Currently, you've got a move to the upside on both on euro. You've got this move here, looking to come and retest here. You've got this move here, coming to retest the bottom here. As much as the structure has changed, the direction is still the same. Okay, so that's what you're looking at on both. Okay, so look for continuation patterns to upside to go retest here, and continuation patterns to the bottom, to the downside to come and retest here on the DXY. I hope that is clear. Right, so that's Euro US dollar. Let's look at the rest of the US dollar pairs. US dollar CAD. Let's look at US dollar CAD. So now US dollar CAD, the current structure shown to you. So I thought that this was going to keep crawling up to retest this level here. Did not quite get there, but we did see that if it breaks below here, we show that if it breaks below here, you need to look for a sell setup. Okay, you need to look for a sell setup. Remember, I was looking for this one to make a big move to the downside. As much as this is coming down here, I'm not expecting that that will be that big move that we're looking for. So I'm expecting that from here, as much as it's coming down like that, you're gonna get continuation to the downside, you're gonna get a move like this, and then it's gonna push up higher, because in terms of the sequence, the cycle, this does not look complete. It will look complete if it does something like this. Then we're going to look for that big move to the downside from around that level. And we have seen exactly the same setup happen before. This is making a three-wave move to the downside. A three-wave move cannot go all the way to the downside. Okay, so we'll be expecting that at around that level, we get a move to the upside. Now, if you look at the trend here, even though we don't really trade trend lines, this could be something like this. Okay, it could come to this level and push higher. Okay, so in terms of the sequence, this is what the sequence looks like. That's what the sequence looks like, and that will be the X here, and then we look for the last move, which is going to be the Z. Okay, now if we look at this, we've done exactly the same thing before with this. And I've said, even when this was playing out 2 years back, when this was happening 2 years back, when this was making this three-wave move to the downside, like this, I said a three-wave move does not go all the way down like that. So that's why I said I want this to push higher before we come down. The same way I'm expecting in that swing to push higher and come down. Now, we don't do this in hindsight. I need to show you. Let me see if I can show you quickly here exactly how this one played out. Let's try to find it. Okay, let's look at that. This was 2 years back. I want to show you how we traded that. And you'll see how that played out. If you look at this one here, let's have a look at this. That is the piece that I showed you. See, this was the three-wave move coming down, and I said a three-wave move does not come down. Okay, that's why I expected that after this three-wave move, you need to get the Z. You can see it was exactly the same structure. We had a W, X, Y, X, and a Z. Now, trendline traders were doing this. Trendline traders had this trend line here before, and they were thinking that the trend line has been broken, it is being retested, and it was going to come down. But the sequence, we were looking at the sequence in the cycle, it was not complete, and it was not going to go down. And that is how we traded it. And if you go and look at your chart, you'll see that we traded 600 pips here, it corrected, and we traded another 600 pips there before we could trade this 1,300 pips to the bottom here. Not in hindsight, you can see that we see these things way before it happens. That is US dollar CAD 2 years back, and that is how we did this. And it was also done during these videos. You can try to track those videos from 2 years back as well. Just to show you even way before you had the breakout to the upside. Let me see if I can find that as well, where you can find that before the break to the upside. Okay, that was all when the break had already started to the upside. Okay, all of them have got a break to the upside, but this was forecasted even before we had this, pulsing move to the upside. And this was the entry, 600 correction, 600 pips, another, and then we get another 1,300 pips. So that was 1,200 and 1,300 pips that we got in the last piece here. And this is why I like to trade corrections. When the market is in correction, I know that we're gonna get a big move like that. So the reason why we expected this 1,300 pips here is because we were looking for that one. All right, so that's a story for another day. Let's continue with the market analysis for today. Right, so that is US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF, just the opposite of the euro. Just the opposite of the euro. Okay, so I expected this to push a little bit higher last week because I expected the euro to come down with a diagonal. So it has only pushed back like this, coming down here. So it should continue to the downside to possibly retest that level. We'll see what structure it forms when it gets to this level. So all you do with the US dollar CHF, because the structure is not very clear, you just do the inverse with the euro. But you need to calculate the correlation strength or the correlation coefficient on that one. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar has made a pullback. Actually, the pound pairs have all made pullbacks. If you remember, I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, any pullback that you see on the pound pairs is not reversal. So here you could be looking for a regular flat. Let's see if that's going to play out, and then we look for continuation to the downside. If it is not that, and this is actually the swing, this could actually make this one here first, make a three-wave pullback, whichever structure it forms, and then continue with the move to the downside. Now, remember what we're looking for on the pound pairs and why we're so confident of the down move. This is what with the structure that we're looking for. Let's switch this off here. The move we're looking for on the pound pairs is this one here. You've got a move here, and you're expecting this move to the downside here. What do you have in the middle? In the middle, you've got an expanding flat. That's why we're expecting the pound to move like this. So even if you do have at any point here pullbacks, we know that it's just going to be continuation to the downside. That's normal. You can see here you had this one here, and this one could also form a similar structure here as well. You could also have something like that for continuation to the downside. So that is the structure on the pound pairs, is because of this. If you look at pound CHF, you'll see that it's got exactly the same structure. We'll get to it when we look at the pound pairs. Right, so that is pound US dollar ZAR. Let's start, before we start with US dollar ZAR, there's a very nice trade on US dollar ZAR, but let's do the rest of the US dollar pairs, then I'll end with the US dollar ZAR. Now, Audi US dollar. I think now it's time for the Audi to follow gold. Remember, Audi is a commodity currency, so we're looking for this one to now at least come and retest this level here, make this pulsing move here. Remember the capitulation move here in the beginning, first day of trading in this year, and this correction now. Can this correction be over, and then we're going to come and retest this level here? So even if we do go up on Audi US dollar, the trend is still down, because that will just be a continuation pattern to the downside. So let's have a look here. Currently, we've got a move up, so you've got a trade to the upside. Let's just have a look here. You also have a structure there that you can look at. You've got a move here, that is your ABC move, A, B here, and C to the upside. We've showed this blue box here, that this could actually reverse the blue box. It touched the blue box, went up, and come back here again. Made the divergence when it was making a lower low here, and now we're looking for a possibility for this to redo this, and then make this move to the upside. Gold is very strong also, so your Audi should now follow suit. New Zealand, the same. Show this blue box. The blue box on the New Zealand is based on this, and let's switch this off here so we don't clutter the chart with the annotations. So now on New Zealand US dollar, you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. Okay, so there's also possibly now time for this to start reversing and make a move to the upside like that, making this an A, B, and a C wave structure before continuation to the downside. Trend is still down long term on the weekly. All right, so that is all the US dollar pairs. Now we look at US dollar ZAR. So as just said here, there's a very nice trade on US dollar ZAR. If we look here, if you break, we look at the break of this. It's not the trend line. We're looking at the structure. Now look for a correction here. The structure, these lines I use to show just to show me that the structure that I'm looking at has completed. Now, if you look for this here, you're going to get a corrective structure. Trendline traders will say it has broken, it is retesting, and it's going to come down. They'll also get the trade there. So we're just simply looking for a corrective structure to come down here. Okay, you have this already here. It's a three-wave move to the downside. 1, 2, 1, 2, and a 3. 1, 2, and a 3. Even though I actually expected that this was going to make this one here and make a structure like this. Let's not complicate it. You can watch the previous video to see the previous view on this one. But either way, we're looking for a three-wave move to the upside before we come down. Actually looking for it to retest the top there. Right, so now we're looking for this one minimum. If you get a corrective structure here, we should be coming back to the 1322 level on US dollar ZAR. So that means strength of the ZAR against the dollar in the next couple coming sessions. So we'll look for that. I'm even looking for this to even break lower. Okay, so that is what the structure looks like. What would this look like? So it will look like a W, a X, and a Y. Depending on how this plays out, if it's impulsive, we're gonna rename this differently. That's US dollar ZAR. Simply look for a corrective structure at current levels. Look for corrective structure at current levels. So you've got a pullback there. So this is actually a three-wave pullback that could actually have started your trade. This could have started your trade here. And if you get a corrective structure here, you could be looking for downside. Okay, so look for it like that. Now let's look at the yen pairs. Before we look at the yen pairs, let's look at silver and gold. Start with silver. Silver has got a very simple structure. You can see the pulsing move that we had. We looked at this as an ABC move, and that was going to push higher. It has happened. I'm still looking for this to continue to the upside. Make this A, B, C structure. We focused on this structure, and we looked at this one as an A, as a B, and C as a diagonal. Okay, if you look at this, we've been looking at that for the last couple of weeks. See how accurate wave analysis is. I'm just trying to show there. That is a diagonal, and we look for it to complete there and push up higher. Now you're still looking for continuation patterns to the upside. Even though you've got what looks like a reversal, it's not a reversal. Look for corrective structure at current levels. Now, gold has made all-time highs here, not all-time highs, new highs, and this is the structure that we've been looking at on gold. Now, if I have to show you the whole view on gold, let's switch off here, remove some of these here. Remove some of this. So we had two ideas on gold here. One with the possibility of this being a triangle. This being a triangle, you can see that the triangle has been invalidated. It is not a valid triangle. So there was initially what we looked at, and also we also said that if this is going to be another pulsing move here, it was going to invalidate the triangle, because you already have a pulsing move here within the triangle. You're only allowed to have one pulsing move within the triangle, so that would not have played out. So how this plays out now is you've got, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. It ends with a diagonal. This was years back, about a couple of years back when we plotted this, right? And then we have been looking at this corrective structure since 2016, and if those who have been watching for a while will remember that last year on gold, we're actually looking for this exact same structures, only that we thought that this was going to make a way for retest here before we get this move to the upside. Okay, so we didn't get this first move, we only got it from the correction here. And that happens with the analysis. So you could have bought here. You could have bought here, but if you would have been looking for only this short move and then expecting the move to the downside. So I didn't think that it was going to go from here without touching here. I thought it was going to make 1, 2, 3 here. So that happens. That's part of trading. You lose some, you win some, you lose some. But actually here, you did not even attempt to buy here because we're looking for this. So now you only get this move to the upside, and that is how this is played out. Now, if I switch off here and you see the structure on gold, this is a very simple structure, 3-wave stop up, and then you've got this one here, regular flat. We said that this is a regular flat. Remember, there are no specific rules. There's no specific rule for a wave A on a regular flat. It's only a guideline that says if this is a wave A, I'm just going to label it wave A for the sake of explanation. It's not actually an A, but rather a W. A, B, C. It says the C ends around the area of the end of wave A. So we can use a discussion that this was actually a C that ended around the area of wave A, and now we are getting this move here to the upside. What is this move? It is this one. Now this is your W, correction, X. You're looking for the Y. How far will this Y go? As far as the projections are concerned, we're looking for it to come down around 1,500. Okay, so now you are going to look for continuation patterns on gold up to that level. Whatever happens, you're just looking for continuation patterns. You're simply looking for this. You're simply looking for this. All right, so that is gold, and that is silver as well. Now, so let's look at the yen pairs. Yen pairs, pound yen. As with the rest of the pound pairs, any pullback on the yen pairs is just just an opportunity to enter to the downside. Now, if you look at pound yen, it has pulled back slightly, but I'm still expecting continuation to the downside. Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, so if you look at the 4-hour, it looks like you've got a pulsing move, 3 waves up. You've got a correction, it's going to move up. Now, this does not mean upside, guys. That is a 3-wave move. I don't expect the 3-wave move to go all the way. I'm expecting that after this will actually go all the way down. Okay, it's going to continue to the downside. So watch, it's going to go up. It's a trade. There's a nice buy set up there for a short move, but it should continue to the downside. That is pound yen. Let's look at the rest of the yen pairs. Go and watch. I'm not going to repeat US dollar JPY. The long-term analysis on USDJPY in last week's video. You don't even have to search for it. You've got timestamps there, as I said. Just go to last week's video, click on US dollar JPY, and you'll find that analysis. I've made a long-term analysis on that. You can just go and watch it. So with US dollar JPY, the expectation is just continuation to the downside. Continuation to the downside. Now, last week, this is where we were on US dollar JPY. We were here, and I said this is going to break to the downside. I actually gave a detailed analysis on this corrective structure. You can watch that last week as well. And then we expected this to break. It is now broken. Continuation to the downside. Any pullback on this, you're looking for continuation to the downside. Simple analysis on yen, on the yen, US dollar yen. Now, EURJPY, bit of a strength in the euros, euro pair. So this one could possibly retest this and continue to the downside. It can go up with the euro US dollar and then come down. Either that or this is even a corrective structure here, expanding flat, and can come down here. So you'll wait for either an impulsive move here or a correction to know which structure it wants to make, whether it wants to make a bigger corrective structure or just this smaller one here. Okay, CHFJPY. CHFJPY, it had made this 3-wave move here, which I thought after that it was going to come down. It looks like it's not going to make a simple 3-wave move. It may make a double correction here. Let's watch what happens with this one. It may make this one here like that before we come down. Let me switch off and draw it cleanly. So it doesn't look like we're forcing the patterns here. You've got this structure here. Actually, let's do this. So this structure here could be this. You could have a running flat in the middle there, and then you have a structure like this. Move up, 3-wave move up, 3-wave move back, and a possible 3-wave move to the upside before continuation to the downside. Okay, may push a little bit higher with the euro. Remember the chief and the euro, there's correlation there. May push a little bit higher before coming down. And the rest of the yen pairs are just making pullbacks for even further downside. You can see here, you've got a buy setup for this one, not a clean one as yet. You've got to push back, push up, and you've got a corrective structure here and a move up. If we go to the 1 hour, this can be even more detailed. We can get more detail on this. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see what's going on here. You've got a pulsing move, and this pulsing move is being corrected by this complex, with this complex correction here. I see here, we've got a move down. Looks like it was going to make another one first before we make a continuation move to the upside. Pulsing move there, correction, and a move here, making this corrective structure. This one up here looks like it's going to be a bit of a complex one. And if it does that, that means we're still going to continue to the downside. Remember, the long-term analysis on the long-term view on the yen pairs is all down. So whatever is happening to the upside is just corrective structures, and that's continuation to the downside. Okay, that's Audi yen, New Zealand yen, the same as well. Bit of a pulse there. Let's use yellow. Bit of a pulsing move here. Possibility for it to do this. So you could have a move there, and in the middle there you've got a expanding flat like that, making this an A, B, C before continuation to the downside. Trend is long-term down on all the yen pairs. All right, and then lastly on the yen pairs is the CAD. So the CAD, as you can see, is already coming down. You've got a pulsing move, got an expanding flat there, it's coming down. Continuation patterns to the downside. Okay, continuation patterns to the downside on the CADJPY. That's all on the yen pairs. Let's now look at the pound pairs. As I said, the pound pairs, any pullback to the upside is an opportunity to sell. Let's have a look here. This is the structure I showed you on pound US dollar. Pound US dollar said we've got a pulsing move down. We're expecting a move here to the downside. Something like this. What do we have in the middle? You also have an expanding flat. Remember, you've got almost the value between US dollar and CHF is almost 1-for-1. They're almost in parity at this stage. So that's why you see this pound US dollar and pound CHF are almost identical. That's because of the CHF and the US dollar between them. Okay, so that is the structure, and that is why we're confidently looking to sell pound pairs. So you don't have any signs of a reversal there. Right, pound CHF, look for continuation patterns to the downside. For hour, you may get at any time 3-wave pullbacks, but that's just continuation patterns to the downside. All right. Okay, so that's pound CHF. Let's run through the rest. Pound New Zealand, let's go daily so you can see where this is coming from. So if you look at New Zealand and the daily, we're looking for this. It has made a, okay, so this is what we have on the New Zealand. We've got a 11 swing sequence, W, X, Y, X, Z, all the way up. And then we've made this 3-wave move to the upside. Now, whatever is happening here is a continuation move to the downside. If you look here, you see that we've got a pullback here. I believe that this is going to make a 3-wave move here, and we're going to continue with the move to the downside. Remember, this move here, we're expecting it to be to go all the way down. Okay, the Z has completed, so this move could be a pulse, a correction, and a pulse. Okay, so let's see. This move could be correcting the whole thing here. All right. So for now, let's go for hour. There's a short move to the upside. It's just a pullback on all the pound pairs. So if we go do a bit of a detailed analysis on this one here, you'll see that we've got a pulsing move up. We possibly have a pulsing move down here. Something like this could do that. It can even be more complex than that. Maybe something like that before we come down. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying it can be more complex than that is that there's a possibility that this one here can actually do this. In green here, you got a pulsing move. You got a pulsing move here. a move down here, and then it does this, comes down in red before it goes up in yellow. So it can be a little bit more complicated than that. It's just another view, but either way, that is in a corrective structure. So it could also make that structure. So let's just watch this. While it's in correction, don't rush it. Let's see what happens there. Pound Audi. Pound Audi has made a pullback here. Is this a reversal? I do not think it's a reversal. We've got a three-wave move here. Pullback. This could make another three-wave move and pull down. Let's see how this goes. All right, that is Pound Audi. Pound CAD, very simple. If you go on the daily, you'll see that this structure is very simple on the daily. So any pullback that you see on Pound CAD is simply an opportunity to enter. You've got a three-wave move down here. This whole thing is a correction here, and we're looking for this one here. So don't be surprised if you get a deeper correction like this before you come down. It's just going to be this structure here. Just going to be this structure here. If those who remember, we've actually traded this one here and got this move to the downside. Okay, all of that, almost 1,000 pips to the downside. Right, so watch these pullbacks. Don't let them scare you. The trend is down. Pound CAD, that's Pound CAD, and then Euro Pound. Euro Pound, you expect it to push a little bit higher because the pound pairs are looking downside. So if it's going to correct, it's going to correct and pull back. Okay, just remember the structure on Euro Pound is this here. If you switch this on here, structure on Euro Pound, you've got three waves down, you've got three waves up, you're gonna move three waves move to the downside, and now you've got this move to the downside, to the upside. Correction, continuation to the upside. Let's switch this off here. That's all you have. Right. Let's look at the rest of the Euro pairs. We'll start with Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, we've been expecting a move here to the downside. Has that move been invalidated? Not yet. So we looked to sell here. We didn't get this move. Expected that it was going to come here and it is break here before it comes down. Still not coming down and still correcting at this level. So it may still break slightly here and still come down. Let's watch and see how that goes. But for now, we are stopping that trade for now and see what we get here. If we're going to get any sign of reversal here, there is divergence, however. There is divergence, so that may still be coming. And that, we've seen something like that happen before, so you don't let a trade go just because it has just broken some levels. Now, if you look at this, this is Pound New Zealand. If you look at this Pound New Zealand, when we were trading this 2 years back, I was expecting that it was going to make a move like this, and then reverse. So look how far it pushed up before it reversed. So same thing can still happen with Euro New Zealand. So don't disqualify it so quick. Let's watch and see what we get there. All right, so that is Euro New Zealand. Euro Audi, we're just following Euro New Zealand. So we wanted to sell this one as well. Based on that, we thought it was going to follow Euro New Zealand. It's still following Euro New Zealand. So possibly this one now retests the top here. Okay, so let's see what we get. So that will be a passive move, that will be a correction, and then a move to the upside like that. Let's see what we get. Euro Audi, that's Euro Audi, EURCAD. So EURCAD, if you look at the structure here, let's watch it. We've got a passive move here. We've got a passive move, we've got a three-way move down. What looks like an expanding flat in the middle there. So let's look at this one here. It looks like it's making this move here. And that's corrective structure. That is definitely a corrective structure. You've got here a pulsing move. And after that pulsing move, you got this complex structure here. Something like this. Looks like a running flat, a regular flat. And you would have that as a, not like that. Show you now. Let's get the green. 1, 2, 3. See there? And now you're looking for the yellow, no, red rather. Red, up like that. And then you look for this one to come down. Okay, so that's the structure you're looking for. Why are we looking for it like that? Because if you look at the first piece here, we have seen it go pulsing move, pull back, and a move. Pulsing move, pull back, and a move. So now you're looking for upside to get the red out and then come back down. Very, very clear structure. That will be your W, X, and a Y structure. I'm not interested in the up here. Okay, I'm interested in seeing this correction complete so that I can look for it to sell it to the downside. That's EUROCAD. EUROCHF downside, as I've been saying, you've got here. So if you just look at EUROCAD now, you'll see that it's a similar structure. You've got a 3-wave move down here. Now you're expecting that you're going to get another 3-wave move down here. Okay, you have here a 3-wave move pullback, which we identified when we were still at the top here that it was going to come down. That's coming down. At some point, you should get a pullback. This one here, same as this one here. You're simply looking for continuation to the downside, and that is the analysis that I've been giving for the last couple of weeks on this pair. That's US dollar chief. Now we look at the rest of the, let's look at some of the cross pairs. Now if you look at AUD New Zealand, it's a little bit tricky because you've got what looked like a 3-wave move to the upside. Is this now making a correction that's going to correct the whole move here? Let's see what you get here. We're looking at this one as a corrective structure. Either that can be a corrective structure or a leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if it is a leading diagonal, it could make an A, B, and a C. Okay, if that is the case, you're going to get another move to the upside. I'm just focusing that C is going to be here. That C can even retest the bottom here. But let's watch. It's not clear at the moment. Just stay out of this one for now. All right, so that is AUD New Zealand. All right, so let's look at the rest of the cross pairs. If you look at New Zealand CAD, you're looking for continuation pattern to the upside, to the downside. Now here, you may just get a continuation like this one here. If you look on the 4-hour, you've got a pulsing move. Look for a correction and upside before we come down this. We've got what we like to call a V pattern. So I always say a V pattern is not a new pattern that we discovered. It's just a different way of calling one of Elliot's waves, one of Elliot's patterns that we can trade clearly. So this one can make a 3-wave pullback and then come down. But for now, you've got a short-term upside. It can even go up from here and push from there. So watch it. It may not go all the way from there. Let's see what it does from there. If you look at the rest there, New Zealand Chief, you're just looking for continuation patterns to the downside. No sign of reversal. AUD Chief, same. Chief pairs are looking strong. So any pair with a Chief on it is looking downside. As you can see, CAD, you're looking for continuation patterns to the downside. I won't really do analysis on that. Let's look at oil rather. So if you look at oil on this one here, this could have been a continuation pattern for even further downside, 1, 2, 3. Okay, but if you look at oil now, it looks like if we've got this move as a move to the upside, we may at some point get a corrective structure and this can go to the upside. Now, this is a little bit tricky at this point because it does not have to retest the top, and if it doesn't retest the top, it can simply make a structure like this. It can actually get very complex here because this is a pulsing move and this is a pulsing move. So you have not got any correction here to know what structure is going to form as yet. So let's wait for a correction to form along this string. Then we'll know what all direction is going to be. Now let's just look at the whole, at the daily. Are we actually on the daily? Let's look at the weekly. Just show what we're trying to look at here. So that is oil here, which at some point I expected that this was going to make a corrective structure, come back down here, make a move like that, and continue to the downside. So let's see what happens with this. We've got a pulsing move here. Is it going to go sideways and come back down and make a move like this? For now, we cannot see this structure. let's see what when we get the correction on the current impulse. All right, guys, that's all I had for you this week. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll receive the notification when next time I post the video on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching and for attending. Those that are attending live, have a great week ahead. Cheers, guys. See you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.